Hello, welcome to Materiality Matters podcast, an accounting ethics themed podcast where we discuss the importance of ethics in accounting. My name is Pedram, and today I have Marcus, Liberty, and Christina with me to discuss these things. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Hello, everyone. My name is Marcus. I'm a graduating senior here at Cal State Chico with an option in corporate accounting.
My name's Liberty, and I am a corporate accounting student with Cal State Chico, and I will be graduating at hopefully at the end of this year.
Hello, and I am Christina, and I am also a senior at Cal State Chico for business administration with the focus of corporate accounting.
Thank you for the introductions. So let's go ahead and jump in. Marcus, what's the purpose of ethics in accounting? What matters?
So, what matters in accounting? Easiest way to describe it is ethics simply defined as just character. What that means in accounting is what are you going to do? What am I going to do when it comes to a difficult situation, right? So when an executive tells us to do something that starts crossing that line that we're not supposed to go over, and they threaten that job, are we going to, bend at the knees a little bit, or are we going to hold our ground and make sure that we're, staying the course, making sure that everything's right, I'm sorry, make sure that everything's right and make sure everything goes straight. That way we don't fall into negative situations.
Mhm. Perfect. And so, how can we see that importance and that purpose in a case like Madison Industries?
Of course, yeah. So with Madison Industries, we see Jeff Johnson lands his dream job as a CFO for a major company. And he notices that the stock prices went down a little bit, and he presents this over to the CEO for the quarterly meeting. And the CEO tells him, hey, to falsify the information because he doesn't want to look bad with the
Hmm.
investors.
Right.
Now, in the end, that it affects all the executives' bonus checks, right?
Hmm.
Which I believe was like upwards of like to $300,000 worth in
Right.
bonuses. Um, so it was up to Jeff to decide, okay, do I follow what my CEO said,
Hmm.
you know, and potentially run the business to the ground and get everybody in trouble, including myself and my dream position here at Madison Industries?
Hmm.
Or do I try to convince him and tell him, hey, it's only a small fraction of a dip in the stock price, where
Yeah.
everybody still gets to work hard and ends up, getting their bonuses in the end.
Exactly. So it basically acts as a guard at the level when someone's responsible for those financial information and
Hmm.
uh, the other employees. Perfect.
Yes.
Thank you. So let's dig a little bit deeper into why it matters, Liberty. You think? Go ahead.
Okay, so the biggest reason why I think that it matters for accountants to uphold an ethical standard is how it affects the business overall.
Hmm.
So not only does that, with auditing, they make sure that uh the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted, and make sure that everything, nothing shady is going on and the business is running how it should be.
Hmm.
Um, so that's why ethics are important. Also, that brings in the credibility, but
Hmm.
also maintaining that integrity and the credibility is what's going to keep, the business going overall and keep investors investing and stuff like that. So, for example,
Hmm.
the Dealite case with the Dealite branch in China. We all know Dealite as a larger firm.
Hmm.
Um, they're really well known for what they offer to businesses and they have a really good reputation. But what happened in China, it's a foreign country, the regulations are different, and they weren't following the proper standards that, would normally go in the US.
Hmm.
And so they got a cease and desist order. They were fined 200, no, $20 million dollars,
Hmm.
and they basically had to nip it right in the butt in order to fix it because it is such a big company and
Right.
their name's on the line. Investors will lose money, That's kind of why I think ethics are important. It's, upholding the standards so the company and the company culture is good, but
Hmm.
also so you keep the cash flowing in,
Of
because
course.
people trust your business.
Absolutely. And you touched on great points on why it matters, the reputational risk, the financial risk. So it can impact every part of the
Hmm.
firm. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you.
Christina, how can we be more ethical in our approach as accountants, as just employees of a firm?
I mean, like Liberty said, um, ethics and accounting can help protect not just the company and the investors, but you're looking at all of the employees, all of the customers, and all of their families that go along with that, their family,
Mhm.
their friends, everything that goes along with everyone's lives. So we have to think about what our actions and what our decisions are going to cause. The cause and effect method.
Of course.
It's straightforward.
Perfect. And let's make it a little bit more practical. As an example, how would we do things differently with what happened at Wells Fargo, for example, in 2016? How can we make that change so something like that doesn't happen?
Well, I mean, Wells Fargo, their issues started at the top. So
Mhm.
the the executives had a very unrealistic expectation and goals set for their employees. And in order for the employees to make those goals and to make sure that they're keeping their own jobs, they had to make unethical decisions.
Mhm.
They had they had to choose themselves over over whoever else that they were, or their customers. They had to choose
Right.
themselves over their customers. They created false accounts. They created fraudulent charges on people's accounts, causing a very long trickle of just disaster for many people.
Of course, of course. Yeah. So you mentioned great points on how when a tone, an unethical tone and culture is cultivated from the top, it trickles down, and when those internal controls fail, when everyone feels comfortable acting unethically, that impacts negatively both the firm and the customers. I want to thank each of you for providing very grateful insights, and thank you to our listeners for joining in. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.